Also tonight, there are reports of looting in downtown Cleveland. Of course, Lena Lai is the anchor of this broadcast, and I'm proud to join her tonight. She begins our coverage. Lena, good evening to you.
Good evening, Russ, and what an unbelievable few hours it has been here in the past few hours in downtown Cleveland. The rally today started at the Free Stamp at Willard Park earlier this afternoon, and then it moved on to the Justice Center on Lakeside. After the rally ended there, some protesters lined up against police trying to break inside the Justice Center building. And when they left the Justice Center, businesses along Euclid Avenue became the target. Windows of many storefronts like Colossal Cupcakes broken and shattered, damage extending to the inside. There's also damage to parking meters all along Euclid as well. And in order to keep traffic away from downtown Cleveland, the Highway Patrol and ODOT have closed parts of major roads coming into downtown. So closed right now are I-90 westbound at I-271, Route 2 westbound in Willowick, and at the Interbelt curve also closed. Drivers can take I-271 south to I-480 west as a detour. No word yet on when they will reopen. And in the distance, you could probably hear that there are helicopter sounds in the background. Among the helicopters flying over downtown right now, Cleveland police helicopters trying to keep watch over the city. More violence and vandalism tonight as angry protesters set cars on fire, police cruisers on fire, spray painted graffiti, and even assaulted one of our 3 news crews. Mark Namick and photographer Mike Leonard are both okay tonight. Mark joins us now live. Mark, we're glad you're okay.
Hey, thank you, Lena. We're doing just fine. But as you guys said, earlier today, the day started off as a way for demonstrations to give voice to racial injustice. It didn't end up that way. By the end of the evening, we saw quite a bit. So around 8 p.m., we pulled up at Rise, which is a medical marijuana dispensary, and we saw people put on gloves, throw objects through the window, and try to push their way through. But the real hot spot was around East 9th in Euclid, where the Heinens is, and there were damage everywhere. Windows were broken, people were looting, people were smashing an ATM machine. That's where photographer Mike Leonard and I, took some heat from people that didn't want to see cameras. They felt that we're part of the problem. But there was really no police around, I think maybe as a way to just let it run its course, but those helicopters were around much of the evening. This is very different than several years ago when Tamir Rice protesters chanted and walked the streets, really keeping on message, keeping calm. This was very different, lots of pockets. And right now at the moment, we're even getting some people driving around our station right now, trying to heckle the media, which has been part of the day, and that's part of the job. But all in all, it's been a sad day for Cleveland, and a really off message from a day that began about George Floyd.